And the next one is from Anup Tiwari. He says, Sadar Charan Sparsh Acharya Ji, verse 182 of Vivekachudamani. With single pointed devotion to liberation, one who roots out attachments for sense objects, renounces all actions, and with faith in truth, constantly hears within brackets the truth, etc., succeeds in purging the rajasic nature of the mind. So he questions, please say it loud for all your devotees on this path on how to purge the rajasic nature of mind, besides as mentioned in this verse. As far as constantly hearing about the truth, that happens without effort on this journey. There is a constant pull from inside, and nothing seems more interesting than listening from the Buddha Purush. Please also advise about practicing and saying truth always, especially at work, etc. Purging the rajasic nature of mind, the rajasic tendency of the mind. The nature of the mind is the Atman. The mind has no rajasic nature. Sat, Raj, Tam are not elements of nature. They are the attributes of Prakriti. They are called Guna. They are not Swabhav. They are Guna, attributes. So Rajas is a Guna, not, the mind does not have rajasic nature. Now if you can see that, you don't need much more. The mind is busy doing something that is not its nature. So the mind is feeling unnatural, asahaj. If you do something that is not natural, then how do you feel? How do you feel? Try walking on your head. How do you feel? I know it's a very distant example. Walking on the head or walking on two legs, none of them represents nature. But still, you get the pointer, don't you? If you walk on your head, how do you feel? Dizzy and stupid. You might have been indoctrinated into walking on head, but your entire system is telling you, son, something is just not right here. Even though you are busy convincing yourself that this is the holiest way of living. But the bald patch here is saying just another story. The mind is disturbed. The mind is just not sahaj. The mind is uneasy. Sahaj means at ease. Sahaj means at ease. The mind is uneasy. Mind is. When something is uneasy, it pops up. When something is uneasy, it becomes available to experience. That which is uneasy pops up. You have softwares, and the softwares are monitoring transactions. And there are 1,000,000 transactions a day, let's say. Which ones pop up? Which ones pop up? The fraudulent transactions. The false transactions. That's what the software is for. To filter the fraud transactions, quickly detect them and flag them. And the process owner immediately gets an email or a reminder in some form. Something's wrong somewhere. And all the right transactions, all the sahaj transactions, they they make their way out. They are not called into experience. They are not flagged. They don't show up. What shows up? The fraudulent ones. The not right ones. The asahaj ones. That's with the mind. That's with especially the rajasic mind. A lot keeps showing up in the mind. What keeps showing up? Feelings, stuff, anger, hatred, jealousy. Everything is flagged. Nothing is sahaj. Everything is flagged. The boss calls a meeting. And immediately the inner insecurity pops up. What if I am singled out and disgraced in the meeting? What if the meeting decides that my work is not up to the mark? Pop. And you experience that, right? Don't you? That's what you experience. That which is right is not experienced. That which is right just passes below the radar. It does not blip. It does not cause an alarm. But look at your mind. It is always alarmed. And things are popping up. The meeting is both a threat and an opportunity. Depends on what you take yourself to be. Depends on how you perceive yourself to be situated. Oh, the boss has called a meeting. Surely he is going to announce my promotion. Wow. Something has popped up. It's never just a meeting. It's always a flagged meeting. It's never a glance. It always has a meaning. It's never an instruction. It is always loaded with intention. Is an instruction, a word, ever just an instruction or a word for you? Behind it you always perceive an intention. It's a trap, I know. He doesn't mean to just transfer me. He means to play with my career and destroy me. It just pops up. That's how one purges the rajasic mind. By seeing what all keeps popping up. When something pops up, Anu, then you have two options. Either to chase that which has popped up, and you are chasing it. Or watch that which has popped up. A balloon, a hot air balloon goes up the sky. You can either run behind it, chase it, or you can watch it. What's certain is that your chase is futile. But still, given what you are, you want to chase. You very well know that gas balloons can't be chased down. But you still want to chase them. The wise one simply watches. That's how you purge the mind of its rajasic tendencies. What is rajas? To want something and not know what you want, and therefore run helter-skelter. Rajas is like being thirsty and being blinded. Some very nefarious enemy has brought you to this condition. He has made you thirsty, and equally he has blinded you. Now you want water, but you don't know where water is. So how are you running? In a random, haphazard way. You are just running. Obviously you cannot stand still. That's about the rajasic mind. It can't stand still. It runs, but it runs blindly. It cannot stand still because it is thirsty. And it cannot run rightly because it is blind. Some very cunning and cruel enemy has done this to you. That's rajas. To run about blindly. Some people call this blind running as a symptom of great motivation. The words ambition and motivation are very closely related to the rajasic state. Ambition, motivation, speed, achievement, target. You see how they can be directly mapped to thirst and blindness. Watch your insecurities. Watch your desires. See how you are committed to chasing. See how it is difficult for you to just drop. See how others are able to control you by politely threatening you. See how all this sophistication, civilization is just about pulling the strings gently. You are a puppet, but the strings are being pulled gently. And you call that civilization. You call that sophistication. Then you have said something about constantly hearing about the truth. No. You cannot hear anything about the truth. But you must hear as much as you can about the false, provided you do not start calling the false as the truth. Keep hearing about the false and remember that you are hearing about the false. The hearing is the truth, not that which you hear. The hearing is the truth, not that which you hear. That which you hear is obviously going to be false. Otherwise, how could you have heard it? You can only hear the small, the limited. You hear it and it's gone. You hear it because it has been worded. And how can you word the infinite? Please advise about practicing and saying truth always, especially at work, etc. Just know the false as false. You cannot practice the truth. The truth is not a routine, not an algorithm. Not a skill. How will you ever practice the truth? But do practice to call the false as the false. That is the blessing of the truth. Don't try to do something with the truth. Just pray to be blessed by the truth. Truth is not a car that you will practice driving. Truth is not a skill that you will hone and be deft at. At work, there is falseness all around. Don't be co-opted. Always remember stuff for what it really is. Don't be sucked in. Don't go unconscious. Don't just start laughing with the crowd or wailing or yelping with the crowd. The crowd is one-dimensional and monotonous, and that's the dimension of the false. Don't feel an unholy urge to belong. It's a very strong urge, and it's the undoing of so many. You cannot afford to feel like an alien or a stranger. There is a gathering. It might be at the workplace or at a party or anywhere else. We just want to gather like people who are afraid of solitude. And when you are in that gathering, it requires guts to not to belong. In fact, if you want to test your mettle, that's the place. And that's the occasion. Test yourself. Can you be there and yet not belong? But you start belonging, don't you? Anu, please test yourself. Right now, as you speak to me, obviously you are a different man. In some sense, you belong to the truth, you belong to Adi Shankaracharya. You even belong to me. But what happens when you are in the middle of your corporate gatherings? You must ask yourself, to whom do you belong? You must ask yourself, how can you flip loyalties so easily? You must ask yourself, does a man have a heart? Is the heart something to be auctioned? You must ask yourself, if one is here just to sell himself, why must one live at all? The market makes you inanimate. For the market, you are a thing, a commodity. The market does not value consciousness. The market only values stuff, material. You must ask yourself, must I let myself become inanimate? You must have seen animals being carried for slaughter. Are they being treated as conscious beings? In the mornings, there are these delivery vehicles and they are carrying birds, chicken, roosters in extremely small cages. There is no odd one out there. Everybody belongs. The small cages, you can call them pigeonholes. They are all of set sizes, and all the birds look just the same, and all the birds have just the same fate. And then you also look at office cabs traveling on the same road at the same time in the morning. It's a 10-seater. Exactly 10 of them are seated and they are being carried away, and there is no odd one out, and there is great conformity, and all of them just belong there, just like the birds belong to the cages. Call the bluff. If you want to be intimate to the truth, call the bluff. Call the false as false.